What is up, YouTube? That's here. Today I'm gonna be bringing you guys the best video you've seen on this channel in like all year. It's gonna be like all year. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be showing off how to correctly play my version of Hyper Aggression, and we're gonna be giving you guys the rental code for this team and the pace spin and the team review, team building breakdown at the end of the video. All you gotta do is watch a couple of games of me showing off how to play the team, and then from there, I'll be showing you guys the rental code, I'll be breaking down the team leads matchups, and talking about how I built the team and the reason why all of my moves, all of my Eevees, everything about that's gonna be at the end of the video, and I want you guys to know if you wanna see more videos like this one in the future, because this actually took a really long time to make. I would say this team actually is one that I've worked on for a really long time, and I probably haven't worked on a team or put this much work into a team since like the start of the year when I went to Dallas Regionals. But I can make more videos like this if you want to see it. So if you want to see more videos like this, leave a like on the video, leave a comment saying you want to see more like this. If we get over 100 likes and over 100 comments saying that you guys want to see more stuff like this, we'll make more stuff like this. So hopefully you guys like the video. We're gonna hop right into the games. Here we go. Alright, so our first game of the day is Helios Stoutland Gigalith Magneton, which is actually a super cool pick. Much more versatility than Magnezone. It has a much higher base speed stat, still has really good abilities, still has really good like special attack. Like Magneton is a Pokemon similar to like Electabuzz and Magmar and stuff that wasn't really planned to have an additional evolution. So its actual base stats are just really, really nice. And then Blastoise and Alolan Executor. Really, really cool team. How do we want to deal with it, though? I actually think we have a pretty decent matchup a lot of the time. I think Corviknight is usable here for sure, even though it's potential for Magnet Pull in that Magneton. Dracovish is still quite nice. Even against that Alolan Executor, I think Dracovish is a great Pokemon overall against this board. We might even be Dynamaxing our Dracovish. I think it's kind of weird that I'm one of the few people like in the game that will just like, oh yeah, I'm totally ready to Dynamax my Dracovish. It's so good. But let's see. I do think Barraskewda Zam is probably pretty good here. Barraskewda Zam can go for the Psychic Fangs into the turn one, like super hard expanding force from our Spec Zam. So I think it's worth it to try these two first. And then I think that Corviknight is a great mid-game play. I think we're gonna bring Raichu as well, as weird as that sounds. We just had a couple more turns left, and I do think I'm going to be going with a big Dynamax early. I think Raichu's pretty good if they decide to lead with the Heliolisk. And Raichu Corviknight has the potential to beat, like, all 6 of those mons. Raichu's pretty good at setting up screens, has that speed control, and can also just be used to pivot correctly with the use of, like, Volt Switch and things like that. It's not all just the Lightning Rod. It's still really, really useful. There's the Helios right there. See, we're in a really, really good spot here. We're like in a super good spot. Barraskewda Zam. Let me think about this though. Heliolisk is not fast enough to be able to deal with all this damage. It's just not fast enough. So let me actually think. I think I was supposed to actually have Poison Jab instead of Throat Chop on this set. Maybe I'll put that on after this game. Do we want to switch in? I think we just go for the Mindstorm. Yeah, I think we just go for this. And then we just Expanding Force. I think this is totally fine. And then we lose the Scooter. But, like, we're going to be able to double clock Sashes. Or, like, we're going to be able to stop this TR from absolutely massacring our team. And we should be in a really good spot here. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go. Survey says Big Dynamax. And I love what this team's working with. I really have been working on making those, I'm still working on making Expanding Force work because I think it's a really, really cool move. I used that Meowstic Alakazam combo where I would use a Prank to boost Psychic Terrain, but then I was finding out that I didn't have enough damage to some situations. I was finding out I couldn't break through Sashes. I think this is like the next evolution of that, where I start going for big max Mindstorms with Pokemon that are faster than Zam, do that big damage, and then slam in that Specs Expanding Force Alakazam energy. It's so hard to scout this too. Like best of one, best of fun. Did I just miss my Expanding Force? Who's packing a Bright Powder? Okay, Bright Powder it is. Okay. Yeah, you could totally Parabolic Charge. Don't even care. Go for it, Chief. Packing the Bright. We're on Ranked right now. We're on Ranked, and that Bright Powder was pretty poc, but he procced our Policy. Right now we get that big Policy energy, Weakness Policy. But that's what I'm talking about. Where are you gonna go from here? I got that big Policy. Let's actually think about what I want to do here. It could totally be Scarf Magneton. Don't really need to set terrain anymore. I might as well just Mindstorm there because I know it'll KO. And he can't have Sash, right? That's the thing. I'm still thinking we can just be nuking the Magneton, though. Let me think about this, actually. I think Geyser is just fine into this slot. He'd have to be ally switching. I don't think he has it. I'm just going to Geyser the Magneton. Because he can also have Sturdy. It's also just pretty bulky. And just hopefully this Expanding Force can hit. You know, it's cool when your moves hit, right? It is pretty nice. Man, the Bright Powder. There's no other way that Expanding Force misses that thing. There wasn't a Sand Veil on the board. I'm sure he has Bright Powder because he is Sand Veil. Because he's on the team with the Sandstorm team. He's Sand Veil. He does have the ally switch, but the thing is, he's Sand Veil. So he's actually going to ally switch into absolute massacre of energy. That's hilarious. Actually, he's not going to ally switch. I'm Barraskewda, I forgot. I forgot I'm the best Pokemon on the board. Everyone is bad. The power of Barraskewda. Maybe you've heard of it. It has a really cool ability called Propeller Tail. It means I don't care about your ally switch, Chief, and I'm just going to destroy everything with this massive Alakazam. Yo, we got the speed that we need to succeed with this board. I can respect the ally switch play. We talked about it being a potential, but it's hilarious when a plan comes together. Remember, he procced my policy. He totally procced my policy. Let's go. Gigalith. Big last mon. Allergy Gigalith. Yo, let's see what he can actually get done here. The big Gigalith popping the big Sandstream. About to be taking the big damage. And we got this one. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Guys, remember to stick around until the end of the video. We have a rental code for you guys for this team. And there's going to be a pay spin. I'm actually going to be showing you guys the little bit of team building process that I went when I made this team. Really complicated Eevee spreads and a lot of these mons. We're going to go break that down at the end of the video. But before we get into that, we have another game to play, and I'm going to put Poison Jab on my Barraskewda. I want you guys to let me know in the comments if you guys think Poison Jab on Barraskewda is actually better than Throat Chop, because a +2 Throat Chop does not KO a full HP defense Dusclops. So, and if it can't do that, like, why else do you have it? So I think Poison Jab's better exclusively for the Primarina matchup. Let me know what you guys think about that. We're going to get into another game. Oh man, I'm super happy that I put that Poison Jab on. You see what we're fighting against? Clefairy Primarina? Yes, please. There is a potential for, like, Aqua Jet plays with that Barraskewda, but, like, I kind of think I can just lead. Sorry, I'm Barraskewda. Aqua Jet plays with the Primarina and the Colossal, but if we just lead with, like, Barraskewda Dracovish, we win, right? You can't KO both of them. You can't KO both of them, Chief. We also have potential for Nuzzles. There is no Fake Out on this Raichu, but I think, like, I don't see a problem with going Barraskewda Dracovish, because either I'm setting up an Airstream for my Dracovish, I'm setting up Rain for my Dracovish. That's a win-win. This team has so many complex leads that it can actually go for. I love it. I just love this team. We also have, like, the Ninjas, like, who actually isn't just a bad Pokemon at all either. I still think Zam is pretty good, especially at dealing with that Urshifu. Depending on what Urshifu form it is, we could be in a really good spot here. I'd like to go for, like, a fadeaway Psychic Fangs with my Barraskewda if it's still alive, and that we can enable our Expanding Force. We can just go for Dequeen. And then I think the last mon is probably just going to be Corviknight, because it has a decent matchup against that Urshifu. And decent matchup against Primarina. We're also running a really aggressive Corviknight set, and I think it's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be pretty nice to use. So let's go. Let's go into this game. Let's see if Benny has the skills to pay the bills. Clefairy Lax is going to be kind of hard to break, but, like, I'm Dracovish. I'm actually a really unique Dracovish Eevee spread. I know unique Dracovish Eevee spread is not something you're used to hearing, but this Dracovish is not just your full 252 squad. It is a little bit bulkier than most standard Dracovish sets, and it's super cool. We also are packing the Leech Life on it too if we ever have to go for that. Again, it's really improves the matchup versus, like, Serenas and other grass types that are becoming so popular right now. But Clefairy Lax, just like I talked about, very popular here. Let's actually talk about what we want to do. I don't really need to ooze here, per se. And he can't really do that much to me. I think I might just Geyser the Lax. I think we're just going to double tap the Lax. And if he goes for the Follow Me, that's completely fine. Because he'll lose the Clefairy for it, and then, like, Lax can't do that much. Yeah, we'll see. We can't also redirect the Dracovish here. He cannot redirect this Dracovish. Sorry, he cannot redirect the Barraskewda. We're rocking the Propeller Tail. I always forget about that. I always forget. Yo, I should put Close Combat on this thing, so we can go for Max Nux. But we should be able to one-shot the Clefairy, even if he goes for Follow Me. Yeah, I still think this will one-shot here with my Dracovish, even though we're not getting the double damage boost from the Fishious Rend, because it's going to be in the rain, stab, and boosted by our 1.2 from our Mystic Water. Very good item on this guy. So really good amount of damage in the Lax. Out of berry range, and it's going to make it so, you know, he's not nearly as healthy when I want to go for an all-in play next turn. So Vicious end his life. Yep, one-shotted, easy peasy. And remember, that was that damage on that Lax. He actually Belgrams. Okay, cool. So right now, we did about 30%, maybe about 30-ish%. That was with the addition of the Friend Guard, right? So Dracovish can one-shot that guy next turn. Dracovish can easy peasy one-shot that guy. Our Barraskewda might even be able to one-shot from here too, because that was Friend Guard without the rain, right? Now we have the rain and the Friend Guard's gone. His redirection's gone. You can totally send that Darmanitan out. I have a really, really good matchup versus that thing, and I don't really care what you do. We're just going to Airstream. Let me think about how I want to play this, because I think I might be able to one-shot the Darm with an Airstream, depending on how he does it. I know I can one-shot the Lax, right? But I'm thinking, what is he going to do? I know I can one-shot that Lax. I'm just going to go this way. Yeah, Lax is done. Rain boosted Vicious Rend. Like, you can go for a bunch of different plays, but I don't see a way that you get out of dealing with this Barraskewda right here. There's a second time, though, that, like, the close combat would be nice. It'd be nice. He's going big Lax. We can totally one-shot here with the Vicious Rend. And like I was talking about near the beginning of the video, this is like a really, really good example of how to play a correct hyper-aggressive team on my side. It focuses on like pinnings and like reads and stuff like that. You see like how well we're actually able to eat that. Really, really good way to get frozen. But it focuses, like, hyper-aggression is really hard to play because it makes your opponent, like, you have to know everything that your opponent can do. I read from the team preview, I talked about it, that Clefairy Lax was his go-to. And we pinned a lead that pinned not only the Clefairy Lax, but covered also the options of the Darmanitan and the options of the Colossal. Like, when you play hyper-aggression, you have to win the game from the start. Before the game even starts, in the team preview, you have to know exactly what they're doing. Super hyped to see that Zenmo, by the way. But we just got an Airstream boost on our Barraskewda, so we're in a good spot. So Lax is down, Clefairy's down, Urshifu. We already talked about how we have the check for that. Survey says it is Water Urshifu. You guys think I can one-shot a Water Urshifu? You guys think I can, like, one-shot it? We did talk about wanting to go for that fadeaway max. So we want to set that Mindstorm so we can come with our Alakazam and just go for D-Wing if all possible. And we're just going for the one-shot Vicious Rim because I want to. Onto that Water type. Let's see what you got, Chief. Mindstorm's up. Dracovish might... We actually probably should have actually went for another Airstream, but I think we outspeed this Urshifu. It's kind of hard to say. At +2, I definitely would have, but we're only at +1. We'll see what he actually wants to go for. Maybe Airstream would have been the better play here. But, you know, we'll see. I don't think he can do anything to me. Yeah, close combat, my Barraskewda. Okay. Yeah, thanks for the defense drop. I'll be sure to pay you back in spades. But that's what I was talking about, like hyper-aggression. It's more than just slapping a bunch of really, really aggressive mons in your team and using full 52 spreads. It's having just enough speed to correctly deal with your opponent's options, and then from there, having the correct amount of damage and type coverage to pin your opponent and make it so they actually can't get a foothold in on the game. It's something a lot of players don't really think about all that much, but you have to have a really, really good understanding of where the meta is at the time to play a team this aggressive. And, you know, I didn't even get to show off like most of my team, you know. Be sure to stay to the end of the video so you can see the rest of the Eevee spreads. But we're probably going to be using this team for a few videos. Like I said, I didn't even get a chance to use the whole team. So let's take a look at the team and see all of its Eevees and break it down just a little bit so you guys can get a better understanding of how I built it and my thought process behind that. All right, so thank you guys for sticking around that long. We are actually going to be taking a look at the team, all of the moves, and then from here, we're going to be taking a look at the Eevee spreads in a little bit more depth. I wanted to look at the team to show you guys the rental code. You guys can use this team in your own games. I worked very hard on this team, and I think it's a very, very good one for playing a hyper-aggressive play style. And I always get a lot of people saying like, "That's so check out my hyper aggressive team," and it's like just Darmanitan with like Tailwind or like a Scarf Dracovish, and that's not necessarily what hyper aggression is about. In my opinion, hyper aggression is having a full understanding of the meta, knowing exactly what your opponent's win conditions are, and then doing just enough to stop that from happening. So you can see this team doesn't really rely on Tailwinds per se as much as you know, Airstreams from Corviknight, from the Barraskewda, from baton passing speed boosts from our Ninjask into our big physical sweepers, like our like our very, very aggressive Corviknight, like our aggressive Barraskewda, like our Dracovish. And again, we also have that ability to go for that pseudo Psy spam core that's relatively well hidden in the Psychic Fangs base 136 Barraskewda using the Psychic Terrain move that sets from the Psychic Terrains. Wow, I can't talk. And the Alakazam that uses Expanding Force. I also think Raichu is really good here. I was actually thinking about using a Grimmsnarl in the Raichu slot. But being able to have a dual screens mon that can actually still apply speed control while having coverage, because this team has 3 Pokemon that are weak against electric type moves, is actually super premium. A lot of people look at this team in the team preview and either expect a Ninjask lead or a Corviknight lead, and we very rarely do that. We really like to go Barraskewda Zam a lot, or Barraskewda Dracovish. Even Barraskewda Corviknight's really good. Because we can immediately start just giving the speed boost to the remainder of our team and just be really, really solid from there. I want to talk a little bit, I'm sure we'll be using it in other videos, about the Ninjask Barraskewda. You can see that our moveset on the Ninjask might be a little bit weird looking to most people, but it's Protect, Absorb, Baton Pass, Swords Dance. So this Ninjask is not really made to attack that many things. It's made to get speed boost, get Baton Passes, but then Baton Pass off to the Dracovish or the Barraskewda or the Corviknight. But if your partner Pokemon on the board is the Barraskewda, you want to go for that big Absorb. It's a 20 base power special attacking move that if you Dynamax our Weakness Policy Barraskewda and self-absorb proc, you can get a Weakness Policy proc and one-shot a lot of really common threats. It's great against Zard. And remember, we're rocking that Propeller Tail Barraskewda, so it just goes right through redirection. I really like the Psychic Fangs in the Barraskewda, really helps in the Amoonguss matchup to help play around those Koba Berry Amoongusses as well. And I really, really do like this team. A lot of the time what I do want to do is go Ninjask Barraskewda, go for the Absorb, Policy proc, one-shot something. Either they clock my Ninja Sash, or they don't kill the Barraskewda because it's Dynamax, because we're again playing that hyper-aggressive team. We're targeting out their priority targets. And then from there, on turn 2, I already have a speed boost on the Ninjask. If my Sash is unclocked, if I'm still at full health, I can go for a free Swords Dance and whatever I feel like with the Barraskewda. Or if my Sash is already clocked, I'm at 1, I can just go for a raw Baton Pass, passing up that +2 speed to our Dracovish, which is very bulky and very strong. Or even the Corviknight, who is rocking a very, very aggressive set as well. And then from there, we still have a big Maxmon, we still have all the control we need, and we still have the potential to go for like that fadeaway Psychic Fangs to set the terrain to make it so Alakazam can just sweep up the remainder of the game. I also think the Inner Focus Alakazam is very, very premium in this team. I can lead Barraskewda Zam into pretty much anything, and I can go for that big Psychic Terrain set and then the Expanding Force without fearing the Fake Out on the Zam, because I'm going to be maxing the Barraskewda, so he's not worried about Fake Out. And then Zam's not worried about Fake Out either, because it's Inner Focus. A lot of people are really, really not prepared for that sort of like aggressive play, that all in like turn 1 energy, and I think it's really, really good in this exact situation. So we're going to check out the Eevee Spreads, and I know that I don't normally share a lot of Eevee Spreads. I know I normally save a lot of that for my Patreon. I think I actually normally do save a lot of that stuff for my Patreon. But I'm going to start sharing a little bit more Eevee Spreads with you guys, because I feel that, in general, I feel a lot of people use too many 252 spreads, and with all these online tournaments we have coming up, I feel a lot more people should learn a little bit more about Eevee training. And I think a really good place to do that is with a team like this, because while it is like a team you have to have a lot of knowledge for, it's relatively easy to know what you need to beat. Like, every single Pokemon has a threshold that it needs to meet in order to be used correctly in this team. Like this Ninjask, for example, 220 speed, 220 speed plus nature outspeeds base 95. It outspeeds something. Oh, it outspeeds base 86s at +1, right? And so base 86 would be Rotom, right? So this outspeeds base 86s at +1. So that's going to let you outspeed pretty much everything that already has like a speed boost. So like this would already be outspeeding things like Inteleon, outspeeding Zards, outspeeding Noivern, outspeeding Talonflames. But if you ever have opponents that are like already set at +1 from like an Airstream from a partner, this Ninjask Spread lets you outspeed that still, so you can go for any of these moves. You can get away with the Baton Pass, you can get away with Swords Dancing, get away with literally whatever you want. And again, like Scarf Rotom would be a Pokemon that could give this team a lot of issues if you didn't already have stuff to outspeed it. So really good stuff. We're left over with 36 Eevees there, which just throws in specialty because there's a predominantly special attacker meta going right now. A lot of Toxtricities, a lot of Coma-Os, a lot of Primarinas. And so you don't really need to put those in any other stat. You might as well go 252 in HP as well. So it's a pretty relatively simple Eevee spread once you know what you want to outspeed. And after that, Barraskewda. This Pokemon is only 76 HP. We want to go full attack on this guy. And then the 180 speed here is for outspeeding. I looked at speed tiers, right? And I was like, what Pokemon exists that cause Barraskewda problems? And I think the only one that I actually came up with was Talonflame at 126. So this is going to outspeed a Talonflame that's Jolly. And you're like, that's a Talonflame can use Priority Brave Bird or whatever thing it wants. Yeah, it can use Priority Brave Bird. Hopefully I already have a Psychic Train up. But like, there's a bunch of things we can do to deal with that. First of all, Talonflame also doesn't just KO Barraskewda out of nowhere. So I just wanted to be still able to outspeed Talonflame. We're still One Pokemon that we are not outspeeding is Jolteon here, but we have a Raichu for that matchup. But other than that, like, because we're outspeeding a Jolly Talonflame, that means we're still outspeeding Inteleons, we're still outspeeding Gengars, we're still outspeeding pretty much every other thing in the meta. But since we only needed this much Eevees to outspeed the, the Talonflame, we're afforded the luxury of going 76 points in HP. And this Absorb only does like 2% because it's such a weak attack to our Barraskewda that, like, we're actually a lot bulkier on this Barraskewda than you would actually think. I think you saw in one of the games we were able to eat that close combat from that Urshifu. Like, it was absolutely nothing. It would have been a 3-shot. Alakazam, super simple. You actually need this full speed because Pokemon like Inteleon are so popular still. And you may be thinking, like, you've said Inteleon like 5 times. I don't even ever fight Inteleon. You're going to actually see, probably in a week or two, all these people that are using Primarina are going to turn into people that are using, like, Inteleon. Because Inteleon Clefairy is, like, way, way, way better than PZ Clefairy. It just is. And so I'm already being a couple steps in the meta. You don't want to be any slower than that because it is such a powerful Pokemon. Dugtrios are still running around a little bit, and those 120s. You don't want to underspeed those, right? You always want to at least force your opponent to have full speed investing because it's such a popular tiering. Also, like, if we were to be any slower than that, or like be modest, for example, we'd be potentially outsped by, like, base 110s that were timid and stuff like that. And we don't really want to even go into that. So you might as well just bite the bullet, go timid, and rely on our specs to deal that big damage. After that, Dracovish. This Dracovish set is actually really cool. It's afforded, first of all, we want to go full adamant on this thing. And this thing is actually made to be really, really good in either a Tailwind or from a Ninjask Speed Boost pass. Remember, Speed Boost, it gives you those big speed boosts, right? And so speed is raised 1 stage at the end of every single turn. So if we can have a Baton Pass a +2 to this guy, we're going to be outspeeding base 130s, which is Jolteon, which is super popular because Wolf just Wolf just got rank 1 with the Jolteon. So Jolteons are everywhere, and I don't want to eat the Thunderbolt, I don't want to eat the Shadow Ball, I want to always be able to outspeed that. So at +1, this still outspeeds those. This thing also outspeeds, I think, base 88s, 87s. No, actually, it outspeeds base 89s at +1. So, like, that means we're still outspeeding, like, Duraludons. We're still outspeeding a lot of the powerful Pokemon that are base 85s. We're still outspeeding Rotoms at +1. And again, we have multiple ways to get that speed control. We can use Airstreams from here. We can use Baton Passes from the Ninjask. We can also use, like, Nuzzles from the Raichu or Airstreams from the Corviknight. And the Corviknight is, well, we'll get to the Corviknight in a sec, but Corviknight's faster than Dracovish. We can still correctly set those Airstreams. So, really, really good bulky Dracovish moveset, and I actually think Leech Life is super nice on here. It restores 50% of the damage dealt, and Leech Life is a Fang move, so it's going to be, affected by that Strong Jaw. And like I was talking about, it's really, really good against that Serena matchup, which we're starting to see a lot of as a great check to Dracovish. So really, really cool set here. I think Mystic Water is also a very wise choice. Raichu up next. Similar to Alakazam, 110 is a very popular base speed number, so you always want to be able to at least hit that so you're not getting outsped by other base 100s. You don't want to be outsped by their Gengars, you want to be outsped by their low and Ninetales, things like that. So you kind of have to go 110. And then from there, this thing's pretty much a screen setter with the ability of Lightning Rod to keep your opponent honest so they don't go for those big electric attacks into our team, because we have those big 3 weaknesses to electric attacks. And then Nuzzle is just there for speed control if we need it. It really enables Pokemon like Dracovish and Corviknight to be used to their fullest potential. And I think there was a couple other moves I really kind of wanted to use. I kind of wanted to use Fake Out, but I don't think I really do need it. I think this is definitely enough. And last but not least is Corviknight. So you can see Corviknight is going to be 116 speed, going to 102. It's a little bit faster than Dracovish. And again, it meets all the same speed tierings that Dracovish does, just a little bit faster. So we can enable Dracovish with Brave Bird, going for a max Airstream with our Corviknight. I really thought about using Dual Wing Beat here to pin Sash users, but I feel that Brave Bird just a little bit better for, again, playing that hyper-aggressive playstyle. We want to pick up those KOs immediately. And so I was running some calcs, and for example, we got KOs on Primarina at +2 Life Orb Airstream. KOs like a Sweeper Primarina set, even if in the max mode. So like if they're running like a Primarina with not like a ton of HP investment, we're still gonna get the 1-shot off the max Airstream, because max Airstream boosted by Brave Bird is a lot stronger than the one boosted by the Dual Wing Beat. Also, Dual Wing Beat can miss, and I feel that, like, I just need to correctly rely on my speed control, and if I do that, Brave Bird's fine. I also have the addition of Roost if we need it. I think this is our Body Press user, and the main reason we actually have Body Press here instead of like a Bulk Up or something like that is because we still need a Pokemon that can have a decent matchup against Ferrothorn. Our team can kind of struggle with Ferrothorn if we don't get set up correctly. Remember, we're not using Close Combat Barraskewda. Alakazam uses Specs, but like Shadow Ball would do about 40%. Dracovish can one-shot it if we have the perfect situations, like we're already going to win. But we do need to have this thing to do good damage against the Ferrothorn. Also, again, since we are faster than the Dracovish, we already get the speed boost off per se. We can go for like an Airstream to enable the Dracovish. We can go for a Knuckle from the body press to enable the Dracovish even further. And last but not least, we have the Iron Head just because pretty good solid stab, and then it helps enable the body press later on in the matchup. So that is the team. Hopefully you liked it. I'll show the rental code again. It's right here on the stream. But yeah, definitely try this team out. I hope you do like it. I worked actually really, really hard with this. I would say the last team that I put this much work into was probably my Dallas Regionals team. And that was like back in January. I feel that like ever since the release of Sword and Shield, I've probably only made like 3 or 4 teams that I actually really, really liked. And I do really, really like this one. So you'd expect to see this rental code up for a while. I would say with my rental codes, you always want to get them as soon as possible because they usually only stay up for a week or so. So good luck getting this rental code if it's still up. Maybe I'll upload it again in the future if people like it. But let me know what you think about this team. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this one where I go really, really in-depth and explain my Eevee and moveset choices in the future. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.